What are you feeling off of the Mercury cycle now going into like the Earth signs, the retrograde periods? Were you feeling into that too as well?
I like Mercury and Earth retrogrades. Like we get the Mercury and we get the like exalted Virgo retrograde, right? Exalted Mercury retrograde, and that one's always like juicy, at least for I don't know, creative output. I feel like especially it's a bit more hectic
Mhm.
than the energy we have for this one. I mean, this is also these Capricorn transits that are happening. These are our last of 3 years of having these with Saturn and Aquarius, right? And the last of almost 6 years of having them with Saturn and Capricorn too. That's one of the things about this quarter I keep looking at is just thinking about like, okay, this is the last, like, these are the last conjunctions. These are the last lunations and last retrogrades we have with these planets in these signs, right? Like both Pluto in Capricorn and also Saturn in Aquarius. And like, what does that kind of mean in terms of the overall Saturn processes we've been going through since it entered Capricorn, which feels like so long ago?
It was 2018.
Yeah. And like, and it's a different world with Uranus entering Taurus also in 2018. And like, yeah, Chiron entering Aries, like just around then too. There's that was new as well, but not as new as what we're dealing with now.
Right. Yeah, something I've been feeling into with Mercury retrogrades going into Earth signs, just like the information that moves through our body and how are you like channeling intelligence in the actual like physical vessel, and that being something important that we need to tune into throughout the year. So yeah, it's great
I
reflection.
love that. I love that so much. I've been thinking so much recently about the idea of communication, like what even am communication. I feel like that's real, like era of Earth energy there. Like, what does it mean to be communicative and this kind of thing, and so I've been. My little niece, she's 8 years old and she is being homeschooled, and so I'm her PE teacher, and so we go out and we do like hikes in the woods and this sort of stuff, and it's real nice time. And so we talk about like plants, and we look at the plants and be like, okay, well, what's this one? I've helped her to ID a couple of plants, and then we go out and we look at other plants and be like, is this the one that we know, or is this a different plant entirely? And so what we end up doing is we look at the signs and the signals that the plant is giving us. You know what I mean? By the shape of its body, the plant is trying to give you some information. So, for example, red berries, you don't want to eat the red berries. That's a warning sign, right? But because of the way that the berry is composed, it is showing you, it is communicating some information to you. Or thorns is another good example. If you see a bunch of thorns in an area, then that area is probably trying to put up a keep out sign, right? And so does it need to be words that say keep out? That's very air. Or if we're gonna do Mercury in an Earth sign, the intelligence of the body, the way that you were talking about, Cameron, then we can look at the way that it is shaped and come to learn and understand things about it that way. And like, so then where does that stop even? Like the communication is all over the place. Like information exists in all of the places, in all of the things that have bodies. And so how do we navigate that? So I love what you're talking about there, Cameron.
Yeah, I told myself, like I have it written down somewhere back at home. It was like, I said something like, oh, respond to people's body more than you respond to their words and opinions. Just like that's like a practice I'm gonna have throughout the year, because I used to study people's posture a lot when I was working at the herb shop a lot, and I've like kind of gotten away from that, but I'm gonna be sinking into that a lot this year.